How to create a website with Elementor? Let's get to it. What's up everybody, it's David from websitecreatorpro.com, and now in this tutorial video I'm going to walk you through step 1 to step done on how to create and design a website using Elementor. This tutorial is perfect for anybody who is brand new to Elementor and just wants someone to lay it out and explain how Elementor works so you can go forward and design your own very beautiful, impressive looking website. We're going to be using the free version of the Elementor page building plugin as well as the Hello theme, which is also designed by Elementor. These two things work really well together to make creating a website quick and easy. The only design limitation of this tutorial is that because we're using the free version of the Elementor page building plugin, we don't have design control over the blog archive page as well as individual blog posts, so they are gonna kind of look a little bit weird and ugly. So if blogging is important to you, I definitely recommend upgrading to Elementor Pro. However, if you're a creative professional or a small business and you're just looking to create like a very beautiful 10 to like 30 page website and you're cool with like designing each page individually, then this tutorial is for you. Now the tools and resources used in this video are obviously the Elementor page building plugin. We're going to be using Namecheap as our domain name registrar. We're going to be using Bluehost as our web host. Then we're going to install WordPress and design our website. Like always, make sure to check the links in the description for any resources mentioned in this video. So let's begin. Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to be instructing you on how to use Elementor to design each of the 3 sections of your website. So Elementor breaks your website up into the header section, the body, and the footer. And I'm going to show you how to edit each one using just Elementor, the free version. There's nothing additional to pay for. I'm going to show you how to add this nice header, how to add buttons, how to make the button be an anchor link so you click it and it takes you somewhere on the site. How do you add this nice hero image in the background with a text overlay, and then how to make it so the image stays put as the website moves. How to add different blocks and different design ideas, how to add an email opt-in form at the bottom, how to adjust and edit your footer, how to add social media links, Google Analytics, and some thoughts on blogging as it relates to Elementor. So anyways, let's begin. Welcome to Namecheap.com. So Namecheap is a domain name registrar. That means this is a place where you can go and register domain names. So to get started is very simple. You just type in the domain name that you want to register and click the search icon. Now, the reason I recommend Namecheap is because they have the lowest prices around for registering a domain name. So just go ahead and put in the domain name that you want, click the search icon, and then on the next page, it's going to tell you whether or not the domain name is available to register. And so this one is, so let's just go ahead and add it to our cart. Now, if the domain name is not available, you have to come up with something else. Now, let's go ahead and check out. And there we go. So now we're on the checkout page right here. And so the domain name registration, you can register for 1 year up to 10 years in advance. You can set on auto renew if you want. So after, like when the domain name is ready to be renewed, if you have auto renew on, it'll just charge your credit card again. So it's totally up to you. And you get WhoIsGuard for free. And this keeps your contact information private because part of ICANN rules when registering a domain name is that you have to provide accurate contact information. And so WhoIsGuard keeps all that information private and you get it completely for free. So anyways, just go ahead and confirm your order and you'll have to create a Namecheap account, and that's it. After you get your domain name, you are going to need a shared hosting account. So what a hosting account is, it's just a server that's on 24/7. So your website is available 24/7. It's just a requirement of having a website. And so I personally like and recommend Bluehost. Bluehost is the #1 recommended web host by WordPress. So to get started is very simple. You just come here and click on this button that says get started. Super duper simple. Okay, so now right here, they have a bunch of different plans. So they have Basic Plus, Choice Plus, and Pro. So Pro is for large established websites that get a lot of traffic. You don't need Pro. Basic is pretty good, but you only can have 1 website on the account, which is very, very limiting. So the ones I like and recommend would be the Plus and the Choice Plus plan. I personally like the Choice Plus plan because this plan is powerful enough to allow you to grow a high traffic website, but again, it depends on your needs. So if you're just like a small business and you just need to get a website up and running, I would say the Plus or Basic are fine. Personally, probably the Plus because you can have multiple websites, but it's totally up to you. Now, if you're someone who wants to like maybe build a high traffic blog, then I would prefer you go with Choice Plus, but again, it's just your decision. So I'm going to go with Choice Plus, and all you have to do is click on select. Okay, so now on this page, you can create a new domain name or use a domain name you own. So if you go with create a new domain name, this is going to register a domain name through Bluehost, which I don't recommend because whereas Namecheap was $8.88 a year, Bluehost charges $17.99 a year for domain names. So that's why we're using Namecheap, because it's just cheaper. So we're going to use a domain name you own. Okay, so put in the domain name that you just registered at Namecheap right in here. Okay, so once you do that, go ahead and click on next. And here we go. So this is just account information. Okay, so I'm not going to insult your intelligence and walk you through how to pay for something online. Just fill in your account information. Oh, go away. Fill in your account information and the package information right here. So you can choose 12 months, 24, or 36 months. Personally, I would probably go with the 24-month price plan. If you're wanting to build a blog, because usually it takes 2 years to build up a high traffic blog, and then you can make a decision whether or not you want to stay with Bluehost or not. Again, this is totally up to you. Now we come down here, package extras, site lock. We don't need site lock. And then right down here, we have payment information, and that's it. And so go ahead and click this little check mark that you agree to Bluehost's terms, and then click the green submit button, and you are good to go. Welcome to Bluehost.com. So after you submit payment, you're going to be presented with some sort of like onboarding process. You can just skip through everything, and this is going to be your dashboard. Now, up top here is your website. You may be noticing something like temporary box 1234. The reason that's popping up is because you have to set Nameservers at Namecheap to be pointing to your Bluehost account. It sounds way more complicated, but I'm going to show you how to set everything up. Now you have your domain name at a domain name registrar, and you have a shared hosting account with Bluehost. So how do you connect the two? It's a very simple process. You just have to change the Nameservers at Namecheap to be pointing to your hosting account at Bluehost. Now that sounds way more complicated than it is, but it's a very quick and easy thing to do. It takes about 5 minutes, and I'm going to show you how it's done right now. Let's set up Nameservers. So every single web host will send you a welcome email when you buy a hosting package, and Bluehost is no different. So you should have something that should say like welcome to Bluehost, and then like your domain name that you use as the primary domain name on the account. And so here we go. So I have choice plus web hosting. So as we scroll down here, right here, you're in your dashboard, it should say this like temporary box, whatever. Well, we have to set up the Nameservers. So for Bluehost, the Nameservers are very simple. It's NS1 Bluehost and NS2 Bluehost. And so all you have to do is just highlight this and then copy and paste it into your Namecheap account. So you have to log into Namecheap and go into your domain name list and click on the manage button for the domain name that you want to edit. Then you want to just come down here where it says Nameservers. Now, right now, yours should say Namecheap Basic DNS. What you need to do is come down here and select Custom DNS. Then all you have to do is type in NS1 Bluehost and NS2 Bluehost.com, and that's it. And then make sure that you click this tiny little green check mark. And so once you click that little green check mark, it's going to come up saying effects may take 48 hours. Personally, I've never seen it take 48 hours. It's usually like 10 minutes. So maybe take a break, get a cup of coffee, come back in 5 or 10 minutes, and everything should be propagating correctly. So you should be seeing your domain name over here. But anyways, that is how you adjust Nameservers. Now it's time to launch WordPress. So once you set up Nameservers and give it like 5, maybe 10 minutes max, this should propagate as appropriate, and you should be able to see your domain name here. So all you have to do is kind of like just launch your site, and Bluehost will install WordPress for you and everything. But I don't recommend doing that because I want to have control over like my username, my password, recovery email, all those little details I want to have control over. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and I'm going to delete the site. Yes, delete the site. It's okay, because we're going to be installing everything from scratch. So with my sites, boom, click add site. Okay, so now we have WordPress and we have Bluehost Builder. So I have another tutorial video on the Bluehost Builder if you want to check out, but we're going to be using WordPress. So click use WordPress. All right, so now we have to create a new WordPress site. So site name. The site name should be the name of the website. So I'm going to be using my name, so I'll be just put that in right here. Now site tagline, you can just put in anything. So I'll put in hello world. Now you can always change these things later once you're logged into WordPress, so don't worry too much about it. Now the important thing is to click the advanced tab right here. Now, email address, this is going to be the recovery email. So if you ever forget your password, you know what email it's going to go to. And then your WordPress admin username and admin password, which I personally like to set myself. I don't want to have Bluehost just automatically generate me a username and password. So anyways, I'm just going to put in my email. Okay, there we go. And admin username. Okay, and WordPress password. Okay, and so now we are good to go. Go ahead and click next. Okay, so now you can install WordPress on a directory. I don't recommend that. We want to install it on what's known as the root domain name. So WordPress is installed on the entire domain name, not only on like say /blog, for example. Anyway, so just leave this blank. Now, helpful free plugins, we can just uncheck all of these because we don't need it. Next, go to click next, and WordPress has been successfully installed. Yeah, it's really that simple. So go ahead and click on log into WordPress. Welcome to WordPress. So this is your WordPress dashboard and you are now logged into your website. So let me go ahead and log out. Now, whenever you want to log into your website, you just have to go to the domain name /WP admin. And that's it, okay? And then you'll be presented with this screen, and all you have to do is put in the username that you just created and the password that you just created, and that's how you log into your website every single time. Permalinks and settings. So now that we have WordPress installed on our website, there's just a couple boring technical things that we gotta do on the back end. So I'll keep this brief and we'll get right to the point. So the first thing I want you to do is to navigate to your permalink section, okay? And so permalinks can be found under settings and then permalinks, okay? And so permalinks means like the permanent link for your web pages. So, and this is particularly important if you're going to be blogging. And so here's where you can change the URL structure of your blog. So you have plain, day and name, month and name, numeric, etc. Now the best structure is, it really depends on what you're doing. And so like month and name or date, that's good if you have a news-oriented website. If you don't have a news-oriented website, using dates is a terrible idea. Next, we have post name. Post name is good too. I mean, this is ideal if you're going to have like 50 blog posts maybe, but in general, I recommend doing something like /blog/post name if you're going to be blogging, because this gives a nice site architecture, but it's totally up to you. I would either go with post name or custom structure. Now, you could also include categories within this. So for example, I could just keep going with add in category, okay? And so we have blog category post name. That's ideal if you're going to be building out like a really massive website that's going to have like thousands of pages and you're going to have multiple categories. For most people, that's pretty excessive. So I would just do something where it's like post name, custom structure, click here, /blog/post name, and just leave it at that. Okay, so now the next thing I want you to do is navigate to where it says users and all users. Now right here is where you have your different users for your website. So right now we have one account, which is the administrator, but if you ever want to add new users, you can just click this button and it says add new, okay? And so right here within WordPress, you have a bunch of different roles you can subscribe to people. So for example, like say you bring on someone who's just gonna be an author, and all their job's only to publish content, you can just create a new role and call it author, okay? And that's it. And so, that's kind of like what you'd want to do if you're going to be bringing on writers, etc. Now, I just want to bring up another little thing too. So if we notice right here, it says the username. Let's go ahead and click edit. And so right in here, this is where you can set like a display name publicly as something else. So, for example, if I don't want this David99, I just want it to be David. I don't need the 99. Just put the nickname there, and then you can select the name there. And so display name publicly as your name, for example. So you'd want to do this because you've seen like on blog posts at the very bottom, post is written by David or whatever. You don't want it to say admin or something random like that. You want to have it like actually be a name. So right here we have the biographical information. This is the paragraph that will be coming up within your blog post. So for example, like David is a web designer and SEO expert, blah, 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 that sort of thing. That's where this is populated from. And then right here, you have your profile picture. And so you can change your profile picture on Gravatar. And so let's just open Gravatar. And so what Gravatar is, it's just a service where you can associate a picture with an email. So that's where this is being populated from. And then right down here is where you can set a new password for your account. So, your WordPress login password, if you want to change it, you can just change it right in here. And that is it. Delete themes and plugins. So with any WordPress installation, you just get a bunch of themes and plugins already pre-installed. So we're just going to go ahead and delete some stuff that we don't need on our website. So anyways, the first tab I want you to navigate to is your theme tab. So again, you have to go to appearance and then themes. Now these are your WordPress themes. Up top here, you can search for different themes or you can add new themes as you want. And so for example, if we come over here to WordPress.org themes, this is where we can come and install a brand new theme. So you just come over here and search for the theme. So the theme that we're going to be using is the Hello theme from Elementor. So just type in hello, literally just called hello. And right here, so it's Hello Elementor. So let's go ahead and click on install. All right, so now it's been officially installed and we can just go ahead and click on activate. All right, fantastic. So now the Hello theme is activated and we can go ahead and delete all these other default themes, okay? So again, we have the 2017, 2019, 2020 theme. I have tutorials actually on each one of these themes if you want to check them out, if you want to learn how to design with them. But for this tutorial, we're going to be using Elementor in the Hello theme. So anyways, let's go ahead and delete this. So we click this, and then we click down here, the red button that says delete, click OK. And there you go. So let's do that for each of these themes. And there we go. So now we have our theme installed. Now let's navigate over to plugins. So you go to plugins, install plugins. What's a plugin? A plugin is like an additional little piece of software that's like an add-on to WordPress that adds some sort of functionality. So we are definitely going to be installing quite a few plugins with Elementor, but right now we have a bunch of like just default plugins we don't need. So Akismet is an anti-spam plugin. I recommend activating and using this if you're going to be blogging. If you're not going to be blogging, then you can just go ahead and delete this. Next we have Bluehost. So we don't need this Bluehost plugin installed. We can just click on deactivate and we want to go ahead and click on delete. Next is Creative Mail by Constant Contact. So we don't need this installed. Go ahead and click on delete. And last is Hello Dolly. So Hello Dolly just leaves like quotes within your WordPress dashboard. It's not particularly helpful, so just go ahead and delete that. Okay, and last is Jetpack. So Jetpack brings a lot of like WordPress.com features onto your WordPress.org installation with your Bluehost account. So the thing that I like most about Jetpack with regards to blogging is that like you can add related posts. So you know what I mean? Like you come to the bottom of a blog post and you see like squares linking to other blog posts. That's one thing I like about Jetpack, and they also provide analytics, etc. Totally up to you whether or not you want to keep it or not. I'm going to keep it for now because I find Jetpack really helpful, but it's totally up to you. But anyways, that is all you have to do with regards to what themes you have to delete and what default plugins that came with your WordPress installation that I want you to delete. And that's it. Now it's time to install the Elementor plugin as well as a few other essential plugins I recommend. So let's get to it. So to install plugins is very simple with WordPress. You just navigate over here where it says plugins and we just go to add new, okay? And now under here, we want to search for plugins and we want to type in Elementor. There we go. And so you can download and install Elementor on your WordPress installation completely for free right here. Elementor Website Builder, click on install now. And then click activate. Okay, so now you're going to be presented with this welcome screen because you just installed Elementor. Now this is the first essential plugin that we need. We're going to install two more that are really helpful. So again, we want to navigate back to plugins and you want to go to add new. So we'll click on the add new icon up top there. Now, first plugin I want you to install is the Yoast SEO plugin. So what Yoast SEO does, it just allows you to have a little bit more control of your on-page SEO description. Okay, so go ahead and install and click on activate. So what I mean by that, let's just do a quick search. So website Creative Pro. So we do that, for example, we see like this little description right there and like this title right there. All this is powered by Yoast. Like with Yoast, you have that little specific control over your site where you can like set things up like this is called your meta description. This is your title for the page. Yoast SEO allows you to have all the little detailed control over the on-page SEO. So it's a very helpful, useful plugin. Definitely recommend installing it as we're getting ready to get everything set up for the tutorial. Anyways, let's continue. So one more plugin. So again, go to add new. And the next plugin is called Smush It. There we go. Okay, now go ahead and search. Okay, so right here, this one, Smush, lazy load images, optimize and compress images. Let's go ahead and install this. Now, this plugin is very important because it optimizes any type of image you upload to your WordPress installation. And you're like, well, why is that important? Well, it's because you're going to have a lot of images, okay? And so like when you click and open a website, what the server is doing is loading all these images. So it has to load this image and this background image, whatever we add to our site. So you want to make sure everything's optimized so everything loads quickly, and that's what Smush It does. It helps optimize your website for speed, so your website loads more quickly. Now, one additional plugin I also recommend installing after the tutorial is called Total Cache. Okay, Total Cache. There we go. Okay, so this plugin is important because it sets up a cache, W3 total cache. It sets up a cache, and you're like, what's that? Well, it just means like your web, it's going to save a version of your website on someone's web browser. So like when they revisit your website, it loads way more fast and provides a better user experience. Google likes it because your site is loads more quickly. Now, I recommend installing this after the tutorial because it's going to be a little bit annoying editing the site constantly with a cached version, and then like you have to like reload the page, etc. So it's best just to install, design your website, get it done, and then once it's like mostly done, then go ahead and install W3 Total Cache. But I would leave this uninstalled for now, as we're just in the process of designing our website. But I just want to mention this so you're aware that this is another essential plugin that you should have on your WordPress installation. Now it's time to set a homepage and a blog post page. So what am I talking about? So if you visit a WordPress powered website like websitecreatorpro.com, this is a page. This is just one page that has a custom design. And then because WordPress is more of a blogging tool, they also require you to set a page to be the blog post page. So this is the websitecreatorpro.com/blog. This is like the blog post layout, okay? And so if we take a look at our website with the hello theme from Elementor, looks fantastic. Okay, this needs a lot of work, but this is our archive page. So your archive page is this, okay? So Elementor, for whatever reason, they call it a blog roll. They call it the archive page. So we don't want to edit the archive page. We want to make a home page, okay? And so to do that, we need to create two pages. So anyways, let's come down to settings. We'll come down to reading. Let's open it up. All right, so here your homepage displays a static page. Okay, and so the homepage, now we have a sample page. So we actually have to go in and create a dedicated homepage and a dedicated blog post page. Okay, and then set it here. So anyways, let's go ahead and do that. Click on pages. All right, so go ahead and click on add new. And now I'm going to create a page and call it the homepage. All right, so home page. There you go. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is come down here, okay? Because we installed Yoast SEO, right here you can give a page description, okay? So for example, the home page, it should be the site title, page separator, and then a keyword description, okay? So I'll just go ahead and delete that, okay? So it should be the website, I'll just say website name, page separator, keyword description, okay? So this depends on whatever site you're building, okay? And that's it. And so the meta description, again, as I said earlier, that's like the little paragraph that pops up underneath here. Definitely put something in here that explains what your website is about. And then go ahead and click on publish, and then publish again. And there you go. So now you've just created your first page. So click on the WordPress icon. Okay, now add new. Now we need to just do that one more time, and we need to create a blog post page. And I'm just going to call this blog, okay? Now, if we come down here, make sure to check the URL description. So it's domainname.com/blog. So again, you should have already set up your permalinks. So it should say like the page title blog. If it says like number or something, make sure to set your permalinks. And I want you to do the same thing again. Come down here because we installed Yoast SEO. Now you have a little bit more control over the search description for your blog page. So if you just take a quick look, like with Website Creator Pro, I call it the Website Creator Pro blog, case studies, tutorials, and making money online. So you can just set something right here. So whatever, I'll just call it the travel blog. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, so give it a description, page separator, and then your site title, whatever, and then go right in here, meta description, describe your blog in a few sentences. Then go ahead and click on publish and publish again. All right, so now we have those two pages. Click the WordPress icon, go to settings, go to reading. All right, a static page, home page. I want it to be the home page. Post page, I want it to be the blog page. All right, so right here, blog pages show up most 10 posts. What's that talking about? That just means right here. Okay, so how many blog posts do you want it to show? Okay, so you can set it right there. I typically go with 9 because the way I like to design a blog is like by this 3x3 grid. So it's totally up to you, but that's what this is talking about right here. Then each post and feed includes a full text summary. So this is RSS. This is kind of a data technology that nobody really uses anymore. And search engine visibility. So right here, make sure that this is not clicked because we want our website to be indexed. Anyways, go ahead and click on save changes. And that's it. Okay, so now you've just set a home page. So let's just go ahead and take a look at our website now. Oh, wow, so beautiful. Okay, so now we're finally ready to begin the process of designing our site with Elementor and the Hello theme. Okay, so we finally have our website set up. We have the Hello Elementor theme installed. We have the Elementor page building plugin installed. Now we're ready to design our website. So I just want to create a quick introduction just to explain to you how Elementor works so you can conceptually understand what we're doing, because it does work a little bit differently than other WordPress themes. Now, Elementor breaks your website up into 3 sections. You have your header, your body, and your footer. So your header is where the logo goes in the menu. Then you have your body where you can put in elements or blocks, whatever you want to call it. And then the footer is where your privacy policy, terms of use, disclaimer, disclosures, all that legalese stuff goes. So we're going to be designing each section one by one. We're going to be starting at the header, then we're going to move into the body, then I'm going to show you how to design the footer. So if you're ready, let's continue. Hiding the page title with Elementor. So the very, very first thing that we need to do is we need to get rid of the page title. Why? Well, if you take a look at like a home page, do you see anywhere where it says homepage? No. Well, I can tell you, because I created this website, the homepage for Website Creator Pro is actually called homepage. Okay. But I have it hidden on the actual page itself so I can add in my own titles as I see fit. And you can do the exact same thing with Elementor. So anyways, you just want to click on edit page, come over here. Now it's time to edit with Elementor. So this is WordPress's editor. Okay, this is called the Gutenberg editor. Now if you click this button where it says the edit with Elementor, what's happening now is Elementor is taking over the complete design of the website. Okay, so now we can start designing with Elementor. We can just drag and drop things into place as we see fit. But right here, it still says homepage, and it's like, how do you get rid of this? Like, do you delete? No, you have to have a page title. You can't delete it. If you delete it, it'll just say like no page or something. So to hide it is very simple, but it's again kind of confusing. So within Elementor, you want to come down here where it says this little gear icon right here. That's your settings. Okay, you want to click on that. The title is homepage, status is published. We want to hide the title, okay? We want to hide the title. There we go. And there you go. It's literally that simple, okay? And then go ahead and click on update, okay? And that's it. So that's all you have to do to hide page titles. Let's edit the header of our website. So the header is this top section right up top here. And so there's 2 ways to do it. There's the manual way, and then there's the way where you can just download a template quickly and easily. I'm going to show you how both work. Now, I'm just creating this section because I know people are going to be like, click on the customize and then be like, where's the header? I don't get it. Like, okay, you have to install a plugin. Okay, let me just X out of that. All right, so we want to come over here and you want to navigate to where it says plugins, and then you want to add a new plugin. And so what we want to add is like Elementor headers and footers, blocks, something like that. So anyways, let's go to Elementor header. Let's put that in. Now the correct plugin should come up. Okay, boom, right there. Elementor header, footer, and block templates. So what this plugin does, particularly with the Hello theme, is it allows us to edit the header and the footer of our website. So go ahead and click on activate. All right, fantastic. So now we can navigate to appearance. Now we have an option called header, footer, and blocks. All right, there we go. So over here is where we can now set a header. So let me just go ahead and trash that. Okay, so to begin designing a header, you just go here and click on Add New, okay? And now this is where you can edit a header with Elementor. So we can select the type of template that we're creating. So we have header, before the header, footer, custom block. Okay, so like what do they mean like before the footer? So let me just open this up right here. Before the footer, it would mean this section right at the top here. Now the reason why you would want to edit like before the footer is because sometimes you'd want like a message like this, or you want to have an email opt-in form, whatever. That's kind of like that section that you'd use there. Now we're designing the header, okay? And now we want to display on. So here you have a ton of options with Elementor. Elementor is fantastic in the sense that it gives you this type of like really specific control. So you can have your header display on your entire website, only on the 404 page, on specific posts, whatever. For most people watching this, like you just want everything to be displayed on the entire website, okay? And that's it. And so user roles right there top here. So what this does is like that sets who can edit the header. Okay, so you know if you have a team of people logging into your website, you want to have this set to limit people who have access to specific things. For most people watching this, you're probably just a guy or girl editing your website, so that's not really that important. Now to edit the actual header, we'll just give it this title actually. We'll just call it this header manual. Okay, whatever. Just click on edit header or edit with Elementor. All right, so now Elementor should load. And this is, okay, now what you're looking at right here is not a page on your website. What you're designing here is you're designing a header section for your website, okay? And so you can do it manually. So, you know, if we take a look at a header, how should a header be laid out? You know, you have your like logo over here and then you have the menu over here, right? So that's kind of like how you want to, it's totally up to you, however you want to design your header, but I would do something like that. So we want to click on the plus sign, add a new section. What kind of layout do we want? Well, I kind of want this kind of layout, right? Where the logos that kind of look be smaller and fit on the left and the menus on the right. Just go ahead and do that. All right, so now up top here is where our logo is, okay? Or where our menu is. So up top there, we want to add in a logo. So we can type in like something like logo, okay? And then we have the site's logo. We can just drag and drop that in there, okay? Now you're just gonna have this generic box. Why? Well, that's because we need to actually create a header and upload it to the site. Okay, so we want to edit and upload an image. You have to click on this little pencil icon right there. Got it? Okay, let's click on that. All right, now we want to go to style over here. And underneath this, oh, sorry, we want to stay under content. Okay, so now we have custom image. Yes, there we go. That's what I mean. The Elementor has a lot of controls. There we go. So now we can choose the image that we want to upload. So we actually have to create a logo. I'm going to show you that in a bit later in the tutorial. But if you have a logo ready, all you have to do is click on choose image. You can drag and drop it into this space and it should populate the logo as appropriate. And you can set the image size, the alignment, caption. I would probably leave that off, etc. All right, now we want to add an element to this over here. So we click on this. So what do we want to add? We want to add in a menu. So you can just type in like menu. All right, so now you have a bunch of different things over here. I recommend the navigation menu. Drag and drop that right there. Okay, so nothing should be in here because we don't have any menus on our site. And so there are no menus in your site. So we have to go to the menu screen and create one. So let's go ahead and do that. So creating a menu for your website, it's very easy. You have to go to appearance and then you want to go to menus. Let's open this up. All right, so let's just take a quick look. Now, typically most websites have two menus. You have your main navigation menu at the top, and then at the bottom, you typically can have a footer menu. So we're gonna do that. So right now we're editing the header menu. And so now we need to create a new menu. And so right now we have the home page, sample page, etc. And so I kind of want to delete this, okay? So I don't really need the home page link in the menu. So we could maybe just call this home, rename it, okay? So that says home. Now we have the blog. Okay, that looks nice. And then we have sample page, which is just like a default page that came with our WordPress installation. So we can go ahead and like remove that. We'll just leave it right there. So we'll call this, instead of menu 1, we'll call this main main menu. You can call it whatever you want. And so anyways, let's go ahead and create menu. Okay, very good. And so display location, this will be our primary menu. So we'll go ahead and click on save. Okay, so now within this menu, you have edit menus and you have manage locations, okay? And so right now we have a primary, and because we only have one menu location designed so far on our website, which is this one we just created, okay? And so now we have the main menu that top there. Okay, so let me go ahead and reload this and we'll start from scratch. All right, so again, let's click on the plus sign, boom, right there. Now we'll go here, we'll type in the logo again, site logo, drag and drop that right there. All right, so now we'll click on this and we'll go to menu and navigation menu right there. Okay, so now we have our menu populating this section right at the top there, okay? And it's really that simple. Okay, so anyways, to begin editing, you always want to make sure to click on the little pencil icon because this edits the items within this section right top there. All right, so now we take a look. We have content, style, and advanced. So we come over to style, for example. We have horizontal padding, so we can change the width, okay, and the space between. We have vertical padding if we want to move the menu down. So say if you had like a bigger logo and you wanted to move the menu down just a little bit, you can do that. Space between. Okay, you can kind of play around with this on your own. So text color is over here. Now we want to make this black. We can go ahead and do that to make it stand out a little bit more. Okay, and so that is it. And so you have a bunch of different options. So link hover effect. So for example, like link hover, for example, like when I mouse over the link, yeah, it should do something. So typically we can have it underline, overline, double line, framed, whatever. So, maybe we'll have it underline, okay? And so like when I mouse over it, underlines does something to kind of give an indication that it can be clicked on, etc. Okay, so that's really it. So we can come down here, menu trigger and icon. So over top here, we can change additional items for the menu. All right, so anyways, let's go to advanced. So right over here, we have different margins. So margins, like, you can just play around with this as you see fit. So it does the same thing where, it gives space between up or down. So, and also we have padding right top there. So what padding does is it gives this whole entire element, it's a little bit more space, if that makes any sense. All right, so motion effects is really helpful because motion effects, you can have entrance animation. So if we want to have it like fade in, for example, when the site loads, the menu fades in like that, etc. Okay, so anyways, let's navigate back to the content. All right, so now we come over here, main menu. All right, okay, now we come down to layout. There we go. Now, back out of that. All right, so under content, layout, this is where you can change the layout. And so, for example, it's horizontal. We want it horizontal, but maybe we want it off on the right like that, okay? Maybe we don't want it on the left, whatever, or we want it centered like that. This is kind of like where you can kind of change things like that. Okay, and then like the breakpoint, like what is the breakpoint? So breakpoint means like when does this become a mobile menu? Okay, and so you can change this to whatever you see fit. I personally would just leave it as is. So let me just open up like websitecreativepro.com just to show you this. So like for example, like this is the menu, right? And so if I go to inspect, and now look at that, it's a hamburger menu. Okay, why does it do that? Well, that's because everything's compressed and that's the breakpoint. So that's what this means right here, the breakpoint. So when someone visits on a tablet, will this be a hamburger menu or display like this? That's kind of how you make that decision, okay? And so that's really it. It's really that simple, okay? So it could be a little bit confusing, but it's not too complicated, okay? So you just got to create a menu in your WordPress dashboard over here. Make sure this is the menu that you want. So I called this main menu. I literally just named this main menu. You can name it whatever you want. You want to name it ABC 123 menu? Go right ahead. Okay, just call it whatever you want. Now, under the content, you want to pay attention to layout, because layout is where you can change the layout of the menu items, whether they're the left or right. Typically, I would put everything on the right. And we come over to style, and style is where you can change specific elements of the menu, like the color, any type of animations, underlining, etc. And it's really that simple. So anyways, let's go ahead and create a logo. Let's design a logo. So I definitely recommend you stick to simple, elegant looking logos. You don't need some big, complicated, difficult to read logo. I mean, we can just take a look at like websitecreatorpro.com. It's just such a simple logo. It's literally text with the capitalized pro word. So it's not that you don't worry about having some overly complicated design. Even look at the logo for Canva. It's literally a circle with the word Canva. Logos today should be simple. So you have a lot of different options with editing a logo. I have other tutorial videos on how to use this website, Logo Maker, but one site I really like is actually Canva. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I want you to type in YouTube thumbnail, okay? And this is going to be our blank canvas to create a logo for. All right, so there we go. So now we just navigate to text, and I just want to create text, okay? So I'm just gonna call this my name, because this is the name of the website, okay? And we'll put that in second, okay. And we'll move that over there. Oh, there we go, it's gotta fix that. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix this. So I'll just make this, we'll make this 150, there we go. Put that right there. And I want to make this 150 as well, so I'm paying attention to this number up top there. So we'll just scale this up to 150. All right, so now Canva helps you line everything up quickly and easily. There you go. So let me just move this over, give this some space. All right, so now we just have to design this. So let me go ahead here, and I think I'll make this Poppins Light. And I think I'll make this one, I'll just do Poppins Bold. Totally up to you, whatever you want to add. And so I'll keep it like that. I think that looks nice and simple and elegant, but you can add more to it if you want. So for example, if you want to add in an element, okay, and I want like maybe a globe for whatever reason, I could put in a globe here, you know, and I could make this position this backwards behind everything. Okay, so you can just come in here and add in elements as you want. I'm going to leave it simple. But again, to add elements, you come over to position here. You can move things forward and backward, okay? And so you can like play around with things and add things as you want, as you think they look good. So let me just go ahead and delete that. But it's really that simple. Now, in terms of editing the actual text, you actually have a lot of different options. So it's really nice. So you can come over here to effects. And so effects, you can add in like a lift or a drop shadow or none or a glitch and have it look weird like that. You can also come over here to right here, this drop down right here, we can have the letter and the line height. So for example, if I want the spacing of the letters to be a little bit bigger, I can come over here and maybe we'll make this 5, okay? And we'll leave it like that. And I'll come over here, we can do the same thing. You know, just eyeball whatever you think looks good. So maybe that's too much. We'll do like just a little bit, like maybe again, we'll do 5. There we go. I think that looks nice. Okay, so now we have our logo set up. So just go ahead and download. Now, typically for websites, I definitely recommend you download things as a PNG, but because this is our logo, we want it to be high quality and crisp and sharp, and also it's not going to be that big of an image, so PNG is okay. So go ahead and download the file. Okay, so now the file should be successfully downloaded. We'll get that out of the way. All right, so drag and drop that right there. Okay, so now we need to edit this. Open this up, and I'm going to open with Office Picture Manager. Now you can use whatever photo editor you want. The only thing we need to do is just crop all this white space. We don't need all this white space. Boom, like that. Bring it up from the bottom right there. Okay, and in from the right just a little bit. There we go. And in from the left. There we go. Okay, next come to edit pictures, and then you just want to resize the image. So we don't need this big massive image. We can resize this down to something like, you know, 500, 450, 300, you know, something like that. Not too big, not too small. So we'll bring this down to, I'll do 505, okay. All right, so that's looking good. And we'll click yes, save that as is. All right, now as you can see the way it looks on my desktop, that has a white background, but look, this one doesn't. So how do you do that? Well, there's a lot of tutorial videos on how to remove backgrounds from images, but honestly, you can just use a website that's super simple. It's called remove.bg, and you just come here, and you can upload an image, and it automatically uses machine learning to remove the white background from any image that you upload, or actually just removes the background from any image. So you can just use this. You can use this website if removing the background is important to you. So like, why would you want a transparent logo? The only time you'd want a transparent logo is if you think that your header is going to be a colored background. You're going to be playing around with different colors. You want to change it, whatever. But if you're not going to be doing that, if you know for sure 100% that your header is going to be white, then just leave it white, okay? Anyways, so now we have our image. So we want to go ahead and call our image something logical, like logo, you know, something like that, so we know what it is. Okay, so now we're back into our Elementor, and now we can upload our image. Okay, so again, we have to go to Site Logo. Again, you have to click on Custom Image, and then again, you have to click on Choose Image. Okay, and so now we can just drag and drop our image into place. All right, and so there we go. So now we come down here, we have the alt text. And so the alt text we should put in logo, okay, so that describes the image. Now right here, we can go ahead and insert media. All right, and so there is our logo looking good. So right down here, we can change the size as well. So for example, it's 300 by 300, but you notice that it's not as crisp and sharp. And so you definitely just want to leave it on full personally, okay? Because full will have the image look its best. And so honestly, you're going to have to probably play around with the size of the logo. What I mean is like come in here, open with, and then literally edit the size of the logo to the size that you think looks best, where it's crisp and sharp, etc. Okay? And so that's what you kind of need to play around with, because if you come over here and adjust the image size as appropriate, it's going to just make it look like not crisp and sharp. Okay? That's the only way I can describe it, like that. That just looks a little bit blurry. And so I like leaving everything on full. Okay, so everything's nice and sharp and it looks fantastic. Okay, and so in general, that's all you have to do to edit the logo with Elementor. So you have to install the headers and footers plugin, and then now you have access to just add blocks as you see fit to, you know, create your logo. Okay, and one last thing is, like, I always get asked is, how do I change the font size of the menu? So it can be very frustrating with Elementor because you're clicking the icon here, you're coming into content, style, advanced. I don't see anything that changes the size. Well, the reason is because that's what you want to edit is the typography, okay? And the typography option is not here. What you have to do is click on the hamburger menu. Now here are your site settings, theme builder, user preferences. So you want to go into the site settings. Once there, next you have to go to typography. Now what you want to edit is you want to edit links, okay? And so now we have to come down here, and so I don't see size. Well, that's because you have to click the pencil icon. Now we come down here to typography. Now here we can change it to something else. So for example, my logo is pop-in, so maybe make the menu pop-ins, okay? There we go. And next, I want to maybe make the font size a little bit bigger. Okay, so maybe to match the logo a little bit more, we could do something. We can do like a big bold design like that. Maybe like that's okay. Come down here, the letter spacing, and spread it out just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on update. Okay, and so let's go back to the editor, and there you go. Okay, so if you want to know how to adjust the menu items at the top, that's kind of how you do it. You have to go into typography, and that's where you can kind of adjust the size, letter space, and as well as the font family with ease. Okay, so once your menu is done, just double check and make sure you have it activated at the top. Okay, so right now the menu is not activated. So let's come down here. So this is the header that we've just created. So make sure that you come down here, select option, header, display on, entire website. There we go. And go ahead and click on update. Okay, and so that saves the header that we just created as the header of our website. So we'll reload the site, and there you go. So there's our header, okay? And creating a header is that easy with Elementor. So we just designed the header section manually, but is there a way we can just do it quickly and easily by just uploading a template? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So one of the cool things about Elementor is that there's a lot of third-party developers out there who make a lot of really useful plugins that allow you to create like your header and footer quickly and easily at the click of a button. So one header designer that I really like is a plugin called Envato Elements. So let's go ahead and install it. So we go back to plugins and let's go to add new. Okay, so now you want to type in Envato Elements. There you go. So Envato, if you don't know, they're the company behind Theme Forest. So Theme Forest is this website right here. They're one of the most popular WordPress theme developers in the world. Actually, they're not a theme developer, but they're a marketplace for WordPress themes, and they offer a lot of other random things that are really helpful, like audio, video, graphics, etc. So anyways, they have a plugin that's really great. Envato Elements Photo and Elementor Templates. We'll go ahead and install that. And click on Activate. Okay, so now that it's ready to go, so let's go back to our home page and let's go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor. Now, one thing you're going to notice that's been added is Envato. Oh wait, there we go. So this little green icon, this leaf thing, see, this is how Elementor normally looks. Now that we have the Elements plugin, we have this loaded. Now we want to adjust the header, so we have to go in and go back to our section where we can edit the header. So let's back out of this and back out of this and back out of this. Okay, so again, go to Appearance, go to Header and Footer. There we go. So header and footers. Let me just go ahead and delete this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and add new. All right, so I'm just going to call this Envato header. There we go. And now we're going to edit with Elementor. So let's go ahead and click that. Okay, so all we have to do is click on this icon right here and up pops Envato. So we want to navigate over to where it says free blocks. Now, what block do we want? Well, we're installing a header, so we want the header block. And right here, you have a bunch of free header blocks. You can just click and install right here, and that is it. That's how easy it is. It's really nice. And so they have a lot of different options, right? Really, like if you want like a black logo right there, blue, you can, obviously you can just upload this and adjust as you want. I'm gonna go with this one right here that has a nice button. So let's go ahead and insert template. And so now it's going to import the template. And wonderful. So now we have a couple different elements right here. We have a button over there. We have a section for the menu. We have the website name, and we have this icon. So if you want to just have a text-based logo, here you go. So you can just come jump in here and adjust as needed. If you want to update this image and make it your own image, you can go ahead and do that. Personally, I'm just going to delete this entire section. And the thing that I want to add would be like a logo. Okay, so logo, site logo, drag and drop that in there. And we want a custom image. Yep. And I want to choose the image. Great. And so I'm going to upload a version of my logo that I made a little bit smaller. So this one's like 300 by 50 pixels. Let's go ahead and insert media. And that looks fantastic. Okay, so we don't want it on medium. We want it on full. And there we go. Okay, so that is that for the logo. Now let's go ahead and click on the plus sign over here. And what we want to add is the menu. And so navigation menu, drag and drop that in there. Okay, great. And so let's go to layout, and I want that off on the right side. Now again, I just previously showed you like on how to adjust the size. So like I think that looks a little big. I'd rather like make that a little bit smaller. So again, we're gonna go and take care of that. So anyways, let's go to publish, and there we go. All right, so let's have a look. All right, that looks great. So that looks good, but I'd rather have these menu items kind of match the button text a little bit better. So let's go ahead and edit with Elementor. And again, I just showed you guys how to, adjust the menu. So we have to jump back into the typography. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let me click the hamburger menu. Let me go to site settings. Let me go to typography. There we go. Let's come down to the link. Let's click typography again. Let's make the font size a little bit smaller, something like that. Yeah, that looks great. So it kind of matches the button a little bit better. And I really like that. So we can just leave that as is. I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on update. And there you go. So you can easily update this section just by using Envato Elements. So now we have a bunch of different elements up top here. So let me just back out of this. Okay, so now for this specific button, if you want to adjust it, again, like always, click the pencil icon. When you click the pencil icon, here are your options for the button. And so here you can change the type, okay, default, intro, success, warning, danger. So we just want default. The text, you just change the text. So it's like, click here, okay, like, or like whatever, courses. We could just say something like that. A link, we can have this link to a page, or we can make an on-page anchor link, which I'll get to later in the video. You can change the alignment right here, and you can change this, the size of the button. So if you want small, extra small, whatever, you can just quickly and change it there. Icon spacing, okay, how big do you want it? And so, you can adjust that there. Let's jump into styling. Again, styling, it changes how the button actually looks. Personally, I really like the way that looks. Like I mouse over, it becomes black, but again, you can just change that as you want. So we have the text color, so that changes the text. Border type is solid, so that means the border of the button is a black line. Again, if you want to change that to like double, you can just select whatever you want. And then that's it. And then you have box shadow, and you can add padding, whatever you want. And so that is it for how you update the header section. How to add a favicon to your website that's powered by Elementor. So you're maybe wondering, what's a favicon? A favicon is the little icon in the tab up top there. So you definitely want to create something that's brandable for your website, because like when people visit your website on, say, like their iPhone and most recently visited the site, you want an icon associated with your website. It's also just a hygiene thing where it's just a small little detail that you don't notice, but when it's not there, you do notice it. And so right now our favicon is just the WordPress icon. So let's go ahead and change that. So you want to click on the hamburger menu right there, and then you want to navigate over to where it says site settings, okay? Now we want to find something that says like site identity right underneath these settings. So let's go ahead and click on that. All right, so here you have your site name and your site description. And so you can change that as you want from right here, but I would just leave it. And so we have the site logo, but we already have that up top there, so we don't need to adjust anything in here. The only thing we need to adjust is the site favicon. And so how do you create a favicon? Now, it's up to you. You have to create your own image. You have to create your own image that's associated with your brand. And so personally, what I have is I have this little image I'm going to use. I have it as a PNG with a transparent background. Again, you can just use remove.bg to remove the background from any image. So, just use your favorite picture editor, maybe make a circle, have some type of design. It doesn't need to be anything complicated, and just create something. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose image, and I'm just going to drag and drop that into place. Okay, that looks good. And we're going to go to insert media, and let's click on update. Okay, and let's go back to editor. All right, so let's go back to exit dashboard, and let's see. Very good. So perfect. So as you can see, our favicon has been updated to something a little bit more brandable, and it's that simple. Now it's time to add a big, gorgeous hero image with a call to action to our website. So I'm already assuming that you kind of played around with your header section. Okay, so I went ahead and made my logo a little bit smaller, changed the color over here, just adjust as you see fit. When you're ready, now you want to just add in a hero image. So what are we talking about? Hero image is like something like this, okay? A big, gorgeous image that takes the top section of the website, a call to action that tells people what the website is about, etc. So how do we do that? Very, very simple. So the first thing is you need to source an image. So I definitely would recommend maybe check out like something like unsplash.com, and you want to find a bunch of like images that you think would look fantastic. These are completely free to use, so you don't have to worry about any type of attribution or whatever. And so, but just one caveat is just to make sure to resize the image as appropriate. So for example, like this is like a 1500 by 1500 image. If I was to download this, it would be like 6000 by 6000 pixels, which is a huge image. And the reason why you want as small as possible is because you want people to open up the website and have everything load really fast. And so you can't do that if you have some massive image. So anyways, let's go to edit with Elementor, because we're going to be editing the homepage. Okay, now there we go. So let's begin editing our page. So the first thing that we need is a heading, okay? Why a heading? Well, that's what these sentences are right here, like this, like plan, build, promote, profit, websites made easy. These are headings, okay? Then this is like body text. And so let's add in a heading. Boom, there we go. Okay, so right up top here, you can add in your call to action. So this sentence structure right here should be something like a call to action that tells people where they are, what's going on, what the website's about. Don't make it long and wordy, quick and to the point, maybe a subheading if you want, etc. So I'm just going to put in something, find your edge, comma, enjoy life. There we go. Okay. Now, the next thing I want you to do is to navigate to where it says HTML tag. You want to change this from H2 to H1. Why H1? Well, H1 means that this is the page title, okay? And so, for example, like this is a blog post. This is your H1 tag. Your H1 tag is the title of your blog post. This is H2. H2 is a subheading of H1, etc. And so that's why we want this to be the H1 because it's the title of the page. Now, I don't want it off to the left. I want it centered. So just go here to alignment and click center. There you go. It's that simple. Now you can click on style. And again, the style tab is exactly what you think. It's where you change the style of the text. So we click this and we navigate that to black or whatever color you want it to be. And now over here, you can kind of change the typography as you want, okay, to whatever you want. So like, for example, I'm going to use Poppins. We'll just change it to that. Okay, we can change the weight, transform style, decoration. You can come in here and play around with this. If you want to revert anything, you can just click back to default to start over if you made a mistake. It's really that simple, okay? Then text shadow, okay, if you want to have a text shadow, if you don't want to have text shadow, you know, that sort of thing. So let me click on it, revert to default. I'll just leave it like that, okay? And so I think that looks really nice. Now, how do we add an image? It's like, I don't see an option to add an image anywhere. It's like content, nope, style, nope, advanced tab, right? Yep, nope. All right, well, the thing is with Elementor is like you're editing the heading. You're editing with the element inside this blue box. But now we need to actually edit the blue box. So we have to click this little dot section right there. And see how this changes to edit the section? If I click the pencil icon, now I'm editing the heading. We want to edit the section. Simple as that. Okay, so now we need to have our layout option and our structure option. And so layout changes the way that anything is laid out within this section. But we have to add style to it, which is our image. You click that. Now we have background. Okay, so we have background, overlay, border, shape divider, etc. Click on background, normal. Okay, so now you have classic, gradient, video, and slideshow. So if you want to add a video, you can do that from here. But personally, I definitely would recommend going with classic. All right, so that's classic. I'm going to choose an image. Now I'm going to choose an image I've already uploaded. So here we go. This is my background image. Again, you can use something like Unsplash to source your own image, whatever, but just resize it. Okay, this is like 1,800 by 1,200. It's big, but it's not too big. Okay, so now we've just successfully added an image. Okay, and that looks terrible. It's like, why is it so small? Like you have to add padding to it, okay? So you have to add space to it. So padding is the phrase you use to describe like the space between elements. So for example, like this is a text sentence here. This has a lot of padding above this text and a little bit below it. So it kind of pushes everything away and separates everything out. If you don't have any padding, everything kind of gets compressed together. So that's where you want to go to layout. Okay, so you want to go to layout. Now you want to come here to height. And we want something that can maybe like fit to screen. Okay, that looks nice. Or maybe minimum height. And when you click on minimum height right here, you'll get this little dial right here. And so I really like this because it's just very easy and intuitive for beginners where you can kind of just play around with the way that this looks, okay? So it's totally up to you. So another thing I like about Elementor is that this says fit to screen. And so that's going to fit to the screen no matter what device the person is on. So if they're on a mobile device, it's going to fit it automatically to their phone, etc. I'm just going to do this minimum height because obviously you know the way I like to design sites. I don't want this image to be a super massive image. I just want a little bit. Like I want some little bit of white space underneath. And there you go. So I really like the way that looks, okay? And so let's come back here to the text, okay? And so I'm going to come back here to the text. Now I'm editing the heading style. All right, so Now I can come over here and we can come to the content. And so we have default and size. Maybe I want to make this like bigger. We'll do like extra large. Yeah, that looks much better. All right, so now it's a little bit difficult to read. So style, and so black, let's do white or something. Let's do a different color. All right, so I may need to add in an overlay on this, the image, okay? Because like, oh, well, I can't really see what the text on this. So let me go back here. Let's go back to style. Okay, now we can play around with the background image. So you have your position there. Now your position there, you gotta minimize this and make sure that the image is fitting correctly, okay? And so we can change different things, so like center. Okay, I kind of like that because maybe the text would look a little bit more clear and easy to read if I made it white over this section of the image. You know, if you have top center right there, that looks nice. Okay, so I can keep it like that if I want. All right, so now we have the attachment. So here we can have scroll or fixed, okay? And so if we have, you can just play around with this. So scroll, okay, that means the image stays put. If we come to fixed, that means the image stays fixed behind it, and then the kind of gives that nice little feature of the image moving behind. And I kind of like the way that that's working, so I think I'm going to keep it as fixed. All right, so now we want to come down here to where it says background overlay. So what's an overlay? Well, an overlay is like adding color to an image. Why would you want to do that? Well, for example, I want to use white text on this image. Can you read white? Can you read white on like this specific image? Not really, because this is a black and white image. So I had to make it like a dark blue so the text really pops and stands out. So we want, maybe if you have to do this, you can come over here and do that. So background overlay, you kind of click on classic. Here you have opacity, okay? So you can kind of change things as needed right there. Okay, so let's come over here to background. All right, so now we have a bunch of different, all right, actually, let's go back to background overlay. All right. So we have color. If I want to click on color, there we go. So now if I want to change this to something else, like maybe black a little bit, like there we go. Just like maybe make it a little bit darker. Totally up to you. So I'm not going to add any type of overlay. I'm going to kind of leave it the way it is. Okay, next thing that we can add is kind of like a shape divider. So if we come over here to shape divider, now here we have top and bottom. So we come over here to type, and then you have a bunch of different types of shapes that you can add in. So for example, triangle. Now this is selected for the top. That looks kind of weird, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, we'll click on none. Let's go to bottom. Okay, so now I can come down here and go to triangle right there. Okay, and so that looks pretty good. So we can invert this right here. Okay, you just click on this one to invert it as you want. And so I think that looks kind of nice like that. But again, you can just kind of play around with this as you see fit. Okay, so you can just come in here, pick a bunch of different ones. And so like one of my favorite ones is like I personally like the tilt opacity one, and I personally like the triangle one. Okay, because the triangle one kind of points the user down to like a new section right here. So I'm going to kind of leave it like that. Okay, and so that's kind of basically all you have to do to add specific elements and add a hero image with text with the text overlay. And it's really that simple. How to add a button to our call to action at the top. Okay, so I know a lot of you are going to want to add a button. I'm personally not going to add a button, but let me just show you how it's done. All right, so right now I'm editing the heading, and you're like, how do I get back to the blocks? Like, what do I click on? Like, you gotta click on little squares right there. There you go. Now you're back to like where all your blocks are, okay? And so now we want to add in a button, and that's it. You just type in button, drag and drop, and it's that simple. There you go. So now we can come over here and we can change the alignment. We can change the size, so I'll make that extra small. I think that looks nice right there. And so we can come here to change the button type. So we have like info, we have success, okay, we have warning. Now if we want to come, I'll just leave that as info. Now if we come over here to style, here's like where we can kind of change the text color. If I want to make that a different color, background color, we can also change as well, okay? And so that's kind of just it, really simple as that. So you can change the text color there, type background, you can change the typography over here, you can add a text shadow. You can change like the different elements for what happens when people mouse over the button, etc. Okay, and it's really that simple. Now, if you're like, well, how do I separate it? like maybe you think like, oh, well, the button's a little close to the text, right? Is there any way I can give it a little bit more space? And like, yeah, absolutely. And so now, while this specific option, the button, doesn't have any way to add like padding just above it, you can Elementor does come with something called a spacer. And so a spacer is just this, like drag and drop it here, boom. And now you can push it as far as apart. So I think like just the spacer at 10 already looks nice, where it's like, okay, got a little bit of breathing room. That looks really nice. And you can just leave it like that. So if you want to add a button, that's pretty much all you have to worry about in doing. Okay, and so we come over here to content, and then the link right there. This is where you can like link out to other websites if you want, and you can change it to open a new window or add no follow. So only links that are off your website to another page should be open a new window. But if you're linking to a page on your website, don't have it open in a new window, if that makes any sense. But that's basically it. That's all you have to do to add a button. All right, now it's time to continue adding blocks to our website. So now it's really coming together. We have this menu at the top. We have a nice little call to action. And so now you can add in blocks. And this is where your own design and creativity can come into play with Elementor. So you have a few different options. So first off, you can either click this plus sign, and then here you can change the site structure, or the structure of this specific section. And so it's kind of obvious, like this, if you do this one, it's going to be like 2 blocks. Okay, so right here, I can come over here, click this plus sign. I can add in any block I want over here, and then click this plus sign, and then add in any block I want. If that makes sense, okay? And so that's kind of like how Elementor works. And that's why like when you get the techie stuff out of the way, like the header and this thing right here, then it's like, all right, cool. Now I can like do whatever I want. And so what I recommend is either you custom design things yourself with the plus sign, or you can just add in a section quick and easy. And so if we click this little folder icon, we'll have the Elementor plugin pop up, and it comes with a bunch of different block libraries that come in here. Now, the reason why I had you install the Envato Elements plugin right here is because the library for that Elementor provides, well, unfortunately, they don't provide the header and the footer section for free, but Envato does. So it's really the only way you can get a nice looking header quickly and easily. So anyways, if I come over here and I click on this folder icon, we have a bunch of different options. So I like, this is fantastic. Like, this looks so good. So I'm going to click on insert like this. Let's click on get started. Now it says connect to template library, access this template library. Okay. And so I have to approve and connect my email, and just, you have to create a free account. So you have no option. You can't just do it for free. You do have to create an account with Elementor. Not a big deal, because then you can just, boom, there it is, done, wonderful. And so how would I use this section right here? So this section should be your introduction section, okay? And so this should, like, hey, welcome people to the site, hey, welcome to coffeemaniacs.com, our dedicated website about coffee, whatever your website's about, okay? And so for me, like, if this was like a personal blog, for example, or a personal website, I could say like, hey, I'm a professional blogger, YouTuber, highly rated UX consultant on Fiverr, blah, blah, blah. Just, you use that whole section right there. Okay, and so you want to click on this and make sure that this is, see that says H4? We want that to be H2 actually, okay? Why do you want this to be H2? Again, because this is a subheading of this. So we want this to be H2. Now this text right there, it's totally up to you whether or not you want to leave it as this light gray. I actually kind of like that. I think it looks quite nice, but if you want to change that, you can just come over to style and change it, and make it something maybe a little bit more readable, maybe just slightly more readable. There you go. And then right here we have a read more link, and so we click on that. And so what I personally would do with this is this should link to either a dedicated about page or whatever. And I think it's fantastic. I mean, I literally do that on websitecreativepro.com, because like, boom, people come here, this is what this website is about, learn more, boom, click over here, and then you're on the about page where you can learn more about Website Creative Pro, how to use the site, and about me. Okay, and so that's why I really like this section, the way it just drag and drop, like just click a button and there you go. And I think it looks really nice because now we have this hero section up top there, we have the triangle section right there kind of pointing down, boom, it kind of overlay, I like how the site kind of overlays the image a little bit. Then we get right into the welcome message right here. So anyways, that's how you get started with adding specific sections, particularly the welcome message. Elementor Essentials. So I just want to briefly mention that there is one plugin that I really like to add to Elementor because it adds a bunch of different blocks. So you want to come over here and you want to go to add new, then you want to type in Elementor Essentials, and then it's going to be essential add-ons for Elementor. Now what this does is just gives you a bunch of brand new elements to add to your site, okay? So it gives you options to like add a creative button, testimonials, info box, advanced accordion, advanced tabs. So they have their both versions. They have their pro versions where you have to pay to get access to, and then they have a bunch of like helpful free versions like post grid, fancy text, all this good stuff. Okay, so if you want to add more blocks and more specific extensions, this is what Essential Add-ons does. Whether or not you use it, it's totally up to you, but I just want you to be aware of it. And so let me just go back to my plugins, because I know with Elementor you do end up having quite a few plugins. So far we have Elementor header, footer, and blocks, which helps us adjust the header and the footer of our website. Envato Elements, which gives us helpful blocks to add in very beautiful looking footers, okay? So like the Elementor header and footer blocks just gives us the ability to control the header and footer section, okay? It doesn't give us blocks, but it gives us the ability to control those sections. Envato Elements I like because it actually gives us like pre-made footers and pre-made headers that we can just throw in really quick. And Essential Add-ons just adds in more helpful blocks and elements to help design your website quickly and easily. So you can kind of explore this plugin on your own to see what elements that you end up using. Maybe you don't use anything. You can go ahead and uninstall it, but it's just something that you should be aware of. Let's continue designing our website. So I want to add in like an image gallery and like maybe a little introduction to the image gallery. So how do we get started? So again, now you've kind of got, again, like I said, you got the basics of how to design your website. Now you're kind of free to experiment and be creative because you got the essentials out of the way. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to add in a new section. And so what kind of layout do I want? Maybe this layout right here would look good. So now I have two blocks right here. And so what do I personally want to do? I want to have like some type of like image over here and like maybe a little image gallery and then like a little text introduction over here. So let's go ahead and begin with adding the text in. So we'll click on plus. Now again, you know, it's a text paragraph, so we probably want to have a heading, right? So let me go ahead and do that. And so we'll take that out and let's just type in like I make YouTube videos. Gotta spell YouTube correctly. I make YouTube videos. There we go. So again, go to style, go to text color, black. There we go. Now we want to make sure the content, not H2. Either we want H2 or we want this to be H3. I probably would make this H3. Totally up to you. But again, this is H1, this is H2. I would make this personally like H3. So now I want to add in a paragraph. So we come over here and we just want like text editor, okay? And so why text editor? Because we just want to add in text. Simple as that. So let me take this content right there. I will just double that a couple of times. And so just for demonstration purposes, you can go ahead and write your own paragraph. Now the next thing is we need to make sure that this text matches this text because it looks weird, right? Like why don't use two different fonts? It's a big mistake. So let's come up here. Let's click the pencil icon, style. All right, so what typography should we use? Well, it's set to Roboto. I'm gonna be using Poppins. Now I wanna edit this one and I wanna come to style, typography. Again, I wanna put in Poppins. Now, you don't have to use Poppins. You use whatever you want. Just, I'm using Poppins. So we'll make it a little bit like that. Okay, so they kind of match. Looks a little bit nice. You know, you can eyeball it or you can or you can check this out to see the exact number, but I'm just gonna eyeball it because not a big deal. All right, so that looks good. So let's go to content. All right, and so I think that looks really nice. And so let me just come back up top there. All right. Now let's come over here to, again, typography. So maybe I need to change the weight just a little bit to make it, there we go. That's perfect. So now this kind of matches this, looks nice. Okay, so now we need to add in images. So let's click this. All right, so you have a lot of different options with Elementor and I really like it. So we type in image, so you have like image, image box, image carousel, basic gallery. Now you'll see something that says EA. That means that's the Elementor's add-on plugin. So this is coming from that plugin that we just added, because it just gives you more blocks. And obviously the things with a lock are obviously Elementor Pro. So it's totally up to you. You can play around with this with whatever image you want to add. I personally like the image carousel, so I'm going to go ahead and take that, drop that in right there. Awesome. Now we need to have images. So I've already gone ahead and uploaded a bunch of images. So you can just upload images as you want. And let me go ahead and create a new gallery. Insert gallery. All right, so let me just show you quickly one of the images. How did I make this? So again, 100% with Canva. Super duper simple. All I did was take a screenshot of a video I made. Then I went to Canva, YouTube thumbnail template. I just added this play button on top of it and added text. That simple. It's really that simple. Okay, and now that looks fantastic. Okay, and so now we have a nice little image gallery over here that kind of shows off our videos a little bit with the thumbnails. And so you can come in here and change the content style as you want. So again, you just gotta eyeball it and play around with things. So if I come over here and come to like medium, how does medium look? I don't really like the way medium looks. I think I'm gonna go back to thumbnail. We can go over image stretch. How does that look? Okay, so like, oh, that removes the white space. No, I don't really like that. And again, that's what you have to do. Just come in here and play around with things. Now, what I like is the link. You can have your own custom URL. So you can link this section to like whatever you want. So if I come over here to YouTube and we'll just type in, we'll go back, we'll visit my YouTube channel and we'll just take this one and then let me copy the link address, go back here. And then all you can do is just put in your YouTube channel or YouTube video. And now I know you're going to be asking like, hey, can I have this image linked to a video and then this image linked to a different? No, you can't. This image carousel can only link to one video. Not a big deal. You just pick your best video. And so when anyone visits your site and you do this, they come down here, they click this, they're watching your best video. That's the way I would set it up. And it kind of introduces the concept that you make videos and just get the focus should be more about getting people onto YouTube and onto your channel, watching your videos, more so than having them like on the homepage of your website, scrolling through a bunch of different videos and clicking individually to watch videos. People don't do that. So, that's basically it. So the way that this works now, if someone clicks this section right there, it's going to be a nice overlay of the video on our website. Okay. And so let's go ahead and click on update. All right, fantastic. So now everything is saved and that's it. So that's how you kind of add a image gallery and some text to your website. Now I want to add in another like image to kind of break up the design. So what I mean is like we open up the site, got this nice image up top there, paragraph, and then a nice another text and image section right here that kind of introduces the YouTube videos, for example. We don't want this to be too text heavy where it's just paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. We want to have a little design to it, right? And so let's get started. So I want to just do the same thing I did up top here. Okay, I just want to have another image and text over that image. And I already showed you how to do that, so you should already kind of know what we're going to be doing. So again, all you have to do is start with your heading. And so we just drag the heading over here. Boom. Now add text to your heading. So what I want to do is kind of like create like a anchor link on the page. So when people click the course button up top there, they come down here to this section. But first, let's create the section first before we create the anchor link. So this is going to be for our courses. So yeah, you could call it courses, but like always make sure to create compelling copy that grabs people's attention. So I'll do something like courses that work. There we go. Okay. HTML tag, H2. Yep. Do I want it centered? Yep. Okay. Style. Let's come over here. Let's change this from the blue to the black. And let's go to typography, Roboto. No, I want this to be poppin'. So with your fonts, okay, you should have two fonts. You should have one font to be your titles and then one font to be your body paragraph. Now you can have the font be the same, but if you're going to have multiple fonts, just pick two. Okay, one font for your titles and your menu up top there, another font for the paragraph. Anyways, now it's time to add in an image. So let's go ahead and do that. Click the buttons right there. Okay, and so again, we come back to style. And we want to go to background and we want to add in a classic. Now you want to just upload your own image again. So I've already gone ahead and done that. So I have this image I got from Unsplash, and that's it. And so let's go ahead and insert media. There you go. Okay, so now we want to come to layout, and now we want to change the height. So I want maybe fit the screen. I don't want it to take up that much space. Like, that's a lot of space. I just want this to be kind of something a little bit more low key. So let's yeah, maybe like that, you know, something minimal. All right, so that's so far looking really nice. Now we can change the way that this is positioned. Okay, so let me just click out for that. All right, so for example, we come over to style. Okay, so the position, we want maybe center. Okay, so why do we want that? So we'll just go to default. We come this. As you can see, the image is kind of clipping, so that looks just weird. We don't want that. So we want to go over here and we want to make sure that it's center, for example. Okay, let's see this. All right, so it's still doing this like where it's repeating the image. So how do you make it stop doing that? Easy. So you have to go to repeat and you have to say no repeat. Okay, well now it's just white. And so we want the size to fit. Okay, so we want it to cover. Okay, and so it's automatically kind of zoom in on the image. Okay, and so now we want to take a look. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so now to fix this, if like you don't like the way this looks, then you got to source a bigger image, etc. Okay, so maybe if you don't like how it's too cropped in like that, and you want to change it, you know, again, you got to get a bigger image then. Okay, that's your only option. And so, you know, I'm going to leave it like that. I think that looks okay. Now, but I'm not happy with like how tiny that text is. Like, let's make this bigger. So let's go over here, click the pencil icon. Now we're editing the heading. All right, so content, go to style, typography, click on that. Right here is the size. So here you can just change the size as you want. So I'll make it something like big and bold like that. All right, so courses that work. So we come down here, All right, maybe that's a little too big. We'll make it like, there we go. Okay, there we go. And there you go. Okay, so again, you can play around with this section as you want. So let me come back here. And so again, if you don't want the attachment to like, you know, you want it fixed, for example, then like when people kind of move and the image moves in the background, if you want to do that, again, you just do that by changing the fixed attachment. But I actually kind of like the image to stay put for this one personally, but it's up to you. You can make that decision on your own. But now we have a nice little section, and so now we can add in, say, like links and images to our courses, for example. How to add in anchor links on your website. So you're like, what's an anchor link? An anchor link is one of those links where it's like, okay, someone's on your website, boom, they click the courses, and then boom, it takes them down here automatically. How do you do that? That is called an anchor link. Okay, so now to get started with that, Elementor, again, fantastic, makes it so easy. All you have to do is search for a specific widget called anchor. So menu anchor. Then you just drag and drop that into place. So I'm going to put that right underneath the courses that work. So the course ID for this, you can name it whatever you want. So I'll just type in course, literally course. Now we'll click on update. So that's step one. Okay, so now we just set the anchor link right there. Now we have to just link this to this anchor link section right there. Really that simple. So how do you do that? Well, we got to jump into our header. So go back to your Elementor dashboard. You want to go to appearance. We want to go to, there we go. We want to go to appearance. There we go. Header, footer, and blocks. All right. And so now I have my Envato header that I created. I want to go to edit. And then we want to edit this with Elementor, okay? So let's go to edit with Elementor. And once you're in there, all you have to do is find your button and then link it to the section. There we go. Okay, so let's just click the button, click on that. And so the link is hashtag course. Why? All right, let's go back to the homepage. So I have this called course. Now to link to it as an anchor, it has to be hashtag course. That's simple. It's really that simple. And then go ahead and click on update. And just make sure that this is all set and you're good to go. Okay. And that's all you have to do in order to set an anchor link. So now when anyone visits your site and you have a menu item up top there and they click it and you want them to go to a specific page on the site, that's how you set it up. All right, so now that we created a section for courses, now it's time to upload our courses. For example, what you could do, for example, if you had like a Udemy course or a Skillshare course or a Teachable course, for example, you could put a thumbnail, and then what I would do is put like a quick little title. So for example, let's just open up websitecreatorpro.com. So the way I like to structure images like this, where I like to have the image and then quick and to the point, not super wordy. So it's like you either can go with like a title and just a title and image, or a title and then a paragraph that explains what the image is all about. That makes sense. Now, the first thing though I want to fix though too is like, because we have this anchor link there, you can see that's kind of pushing the text up. So it's like, I kind of want the text a little bit more centered. How do you do that? Well, you got to just do that spacer thing. So there we go. Put that right there. All right. And there we go. So now this is centered once again in the middle. Okay. And so if you're just wondering that, like, how do I move that around? Okay. And that's all you got to do. So anyways, let's add some images. So I want to click on this plus sign. And now you have a lot of different blocks. So if I come over here to blocks and I type in image, we have a lot of different options. We have WordPress, we have image carousel, which is this, basic gallery, image box, image. I personally am just going to use the basic old image because that just allows me to have a little image and then add a text, etc. I don't need a carousel. I'm not adding in a gallery, so that's not what I want. So I'm going to go with like a 3x3 grid right here. So click on 3 boxes right there. All right, so what do I want to add in? I want to add in an image, just a plain old image. We'll just do that. Okay, drag and drop that there. There we go. Okay, so now we just need to add in our image. So we go here to choose image, okay, and I'm gonna upload this image. So we'll insert media. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and click on this one, do the same thing again, go to image, drag and drop that in, and we'll click on choose image, and let me just upload this image I got. All right, got a bunch of images with dogs. Okay, there we go. Now one more, and we'll do image, drag and drop it in, and again choose image, drag and drop. There we go. And go ahead and insert media. Boom. Now, one little piece of advice is that you are going to have to make sure that the images are all the same size. Okay, don't be uploading one image that's like 1000 pixels by 1000 and this one's 800 by 478. Make sure that they're all the same size so they fit nicely accordingly. Now we can just add text. Okay, so again, very simple. So come over here and we want to add in a little heading. So just drag and drop a heading. And so I would make this maybe like H3, for example. And so learn how to, we'll just create that and say, learn how to create a website, learn how to create a website. We'll keep it simple actually. Create a website, create a website. There we go. Okay, and so again, goes through the same process, change this to black, make it readable, go to content, center this, there we go. Then we can just come over here and add in, again, text editor right underneath this, and there we go. And that's all you have to do. And so you can just do this for each one of these items and just go ahead and create a quick little title. Make sure that the title is like whatever this is, like this should be H2. I definitely would make this H3 and just add in a little title for each and then an associated paragraph. Okay, so this came out quite well. I really like the way it looks. Now, again, to create links, it's very simple. You just go to the pencil icon. And over here where it says link, this is where you can put in a URL to say your specific course, wherever it's located. Again, you can come down to the text again, and to create links within the text, it's very easy too. Just highlight the text and click this link sign. And that's it. And so also one other thing is like, oh, well, this is a little bit close, right? These are kind of like scrunched together. If you want to add more space, that's pretty easy to do too. So we just have to go up top there to the square icon. And again, we just want to use our handy dandy spacer. Put the spacer in there. Okay, so now you can just drag and drop this into place. So what's cool about Elementor is that you can just drag and drop sections into place. And there you go. And so now we have a nice little spacer right top there to give a little bit more breathing room. And I think that's coming together quite nicely. All right, so here's our website, and now the main thing that we're missing is the footer. So what's a footer? Let me just open up websitecreatorpro.com. So the footer is the bottom section of the website where you typically have like your privacy policy, terms of use, like a sub menu, that sort of thing. That's what you just need stuff in the footer. You need like your social media links, whatever you want to add. And so to add with Elementor, to add a footer with Elementor is quite easy, and it's the same process that we followed for the header section up top there. So anyways, we want to navigate back to headers, footers, blocks, templates, and we want to click add new. Okay, and so now I'm going to just call this like Envato footer. Now it's the same process as before with adding the header, but I personally recommend using like Envato, for example, because they just come with some really nice built footers that make like designing your website quick and easy. So anyways, we'll do that in, let's wait for Elementor to load. All right, great. So let's go ahead and click on the Envato Elements right here. And we want to go to free blocks. And then we want to look for something that says footer. And so footer's right there. Click on this. And now we can insert any of these templates quickly and easily. And so I like this because like, yeah, you can design this yourself, or you can just jump in here and just automatically insert a footer of your choosing. So I really like this one. We'll go ahead and insert template. Okay, and that looks great. So now we have our social media links, we have about us, and we have specific pages. And so what this means, like we can come in here and like make these little links to like our privacy policy, terms of use, etc. Okay, and so we're just going to leave this as is, okay, and we'll come back and edit the specific elements of this a little bit later, but let's go ahead and click on publish. Okay, so there we go. So now the footer is good to go. Now, if we want to change specific elements of this, we have to click this icon right top there under style. Under style is like where you can come in and change the color of this, and you can change the links, and you can, you know, that's how, again, that's how you come in here and just change these elements. But again, you could totally design this yourself with Elementor, but that's why I like Envato Elements, because boom, here it is. It's good to go. So we can add in our social media links. All right, so anyways, now let's go back and let's add exit to dashboard. Okay, and so let's open up our website and let's just take a quick look. All right, so we'll come down here and the footer's not there. Oh no. So again, you're forgetting the last part. You have to add it to the site. So for example, this is the Envato footer. What do I want? This is the footer, okay? And so what do I want? I want to apply to the entire website, okay? There we go. Now let's go ahead and click on update. All right, go back to the site. Let's reload this bad boy, and there we go. It's that simple. And so that's looking quite nice, where we have a nice looking footer at the bottom of our website where we can add in some branding. Adding an email opt-in form to the footer of the website. So a lot of designs have the email opt-in form like right here, and that's a terrible spot because it's like a throwaway spot. If you're serious about getting email subscribers, you want to add an email opt-in form right here above the footer. It's one of the highest converting spots for getting emails. Now, to add a form is quick and easy with Elementor because of this fantastic header and footer block template. So anyways, let's go ahead and add new. All right, so now I'm going to call this like email above footer. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and click on edit with Elementor. All right, so now we have a bunch of different options here. Now we're going to be using Envato Elements, but I just want to quickly show you why. So Elementor does provide their own library of blocks, but all the good stuff is pro. You have to upgrade to Elementor. So for example, we come over here to subscribe. It's all pro. Same with their headers and footers. This is why we're using Envato Elements, because we can get around that. So let's just click on free blocks and let's go to newsletter subscription. Now, side note, you can absolutely design any of this stuff on your own. You don't have to use a template. I just like using a template because it's just quick and easy. So anyways, let's just come down here. You have a lot of options that you can install. I would suggest picking one that obviously blends into your site. And so let me just take a quick look. Yep, perfect. This one looks great. So let me go ahead and click on Insert Template. Okay, that looks good, but this text is totally off. Now this text looks nice, but just doesn't fit my site the way I've designed it. And so what I want to do is I want to go to Style and Typography and Play Fair Display. Nope, we want pop-ins. That's what I've been using. And now light gray, no, I want it to be black. There we go. Now, side note, also check out the advanced tab because you can also add in motion effects. Don't overdo motion effects. It just gets annoying for the visitor, but just a little bit's okay. Like this is set to fade in, animation duration, normal, fast. So you can just play around with this. So I think that looks nice. Just leave it like that. Okay, so now you're noticing like, hey, where's the opt-in form? I don't see that anywhere. Well, you have to add that in yourself, okay? Because you get opt-in forms from whatever service provider you're using. So this is ConvertKit. You can use whatever you want, but this is my dummy account for ConvertKit. So anyways, go ahead and click on Create New. And we want to add in a form. And we want to go to Inline. And so you want to find a form within your email marketing service provider that's like just the simplest one, like this. Okay, a basic inline form. No frills. Now, obviously, you can edit this form, change the color of buttons as you want within ConvertKit, but this is not a ConvertKit tutorial, so I'll just leave it there. This looks good. Let's click on Embed, and we want to use HTML, not JavaScript, and not WordPress. You're like, why not WordPress? Well, that's a WordPress plugin. We're not going to install ConvertKit's WordPress plugin. We're just going to use HTML. Click on Copy, right-click, Copy. There you go. Done. All right, so now we want to navigate over here and we want to add in an HTML block underneath that. So again, click the squares and go to HTML. HTML, drag and drop it in. Drop it right there. All right, paste it in and there's our form and looks good. So go ahead and click on Publish. All right, great. So now let's go and exit back to our dashboard. And let's go to before footer and we'll just say entire website. Okay. Click on update. There we go. Okay. So let's reload our website and there you go. Okay. So that's simple. So now we have a nice couple different sections of our site and we have a nice opt-in form sitting right at the footer right there. And then the footer at the bottom and it looks great. All right, so adding specific pages to your footer. And so now what's important to put in the footer are your legal pages primarily, and specifically your privacy policy and your terms of use. And so in order to do that with Elementor, it's very simple. We just click the pencil icon right here, and now it says list item 1. And so like we don't want to say list item 1, we want to change it to say something else. So, just change it. Literally just jump in here and say like, privacy policy, privacy. There we go. And so how do you add a link? The add a link option is right there. And so if we jump into our pages, with our default installation of WordPress, it comes with a privacy policy page, okay? And so you can just come in here and go ahead and publish this page. Let me click on this, publish and publish. Okay, and so now we have our privacy policy page. We come over here and I add a link to my site and that's it. Okay, leave it just like that. And so now we have a privacy policy. So you can notice down here that we're linking to this. Now, what specific legal pages do you need? Okay, so I have a whole guide on this. Website Creative Pro legal pages. There we go. Where is it? Okay, hold on a second. Oh, whoops. Oh, would help if I spelled my website correctly. There we go. How to write your legal pages. All right, so I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but you need a few essential pages. So you need a privacy policy, and so the point of your privacy policy is to tell people like what the information gathering process is for your website. Then you're gonna have to have a terms of use page. So what are people agreeing to abide by when they visit your website? And you may want to include a disclosure if you're going to be engaging in affiliate marketing. So you've seen it when you're on a blog post. This post may contain affiliate links. Please read our disclosure from. No, that's that sort of page that you need to create. And so at the footer, definitely recommend you have at least your privacy policy and terms and conditions. And so you can come in here and just edit these options as you want, okay? And so let me just minimize that. And so really, it's very simple. So you want to have privacy, another item. If you want to add another item again, you can just come in here and then you can just change the icon library to match the icon right there, etc. So it's not too difficult, okay? And so, you can either delete this entire section if you want or edit these links, make it like a sub menu, maybe make it your about page, contact page, whatever. And then obviously your social media links are pretty self-explanatory. So we come over here. So for example, like Google Plus, that doesn't exist anymore. So I'd go ahead and get rid of that. And then it works the same way. So you can click on your Facebook and then like add in your Facebook link right there, etc. And just click on that icon and make sure it opens in a new window because it's off your website, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much it. That's all you really have to do for this section right at the top there. So about us, again, welcome people to the site, whatever you want to do. And that's it for how I would recommend adjusting the footer. All right, so now adding pages to your site with WordPress is very easy. So again, what you first have to do is navigate over to pages and just go to add new. And so I went ahead and created like an about us page. Now with Elementor, you have to design each of these pages individually. So I just went ahead and made an about us page. The URL structure is about. Actually, let me just change that and make it about. There we go. All right, so let's just open this page up. And so again, I'm not going to walk you through how to design this because we just went through how to design the homepage. The process is exactly the same. Okay. So again, like you have to just go edit with Elementor. So click here, click here, edit with Elementor. When you're in the about us page or whatever page you're editing, whether it's the about, contact page, all that good stuff, it's the same process. And then you begin the whole process over again with a blank slate. So again, we have the title right there, the page title. We want to hide that. Click the gear icon. Again, hide page title. And there you go. Okay, so just follow the tutorial again because now you have the ability to customize the look and feel of each page individually. And that's what you have to do with Elementor, okay? It's not like you get a bunch of templates, okay? You have to kind of design each page individually, but it's not too hard and it allows you to have a lot of fun and a lot of creativity once you really understand how Elementor works, which you should understand. And so that's what you have to do for each additional page going forward, be it your privacy policy, about, contact, etc. All right, so the last page I'm going to show you how to add is a contact page with its own dedicated contact form. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's click on add new. All right, so we'll just call this page the contact page and we'll call it contact. Okay, now we'll click on publish. There we are. All right, so now we need to have an email form. So we have to have another plugin for this. And plugin I really like is WP Forms. So we'll go to plugins, we'll go to add new. And then you want to search for WP Forms. There we go. Okay, this is WP Forms. Click on install. And click on activate. And here we go. So this is a quick little introduction to WP Forms. We want to go ahead and click on this button where it says create your first form. Okay, so now we have a bunch of different options with templates. We want to just create a simple contact form. Okay, so here's our simple contact form. All right, so I want to change this. I don't want to have people put in their first and last name. So we just want to change this to simple format. So we have name, email, message. Looks good to me. Now we go over to settings. Now the settings is where you can change the form name. We come to notifications. Under notifications, send to email address. It's going to send it to your admin email. Now if you want to change it to something else, you want to have a different email, whatever, this is where you can input it right there. But as by default, it's going to come up as admin email. And now email subject will be new entry, simple contact form. So that means like when someone emails you, it'll come up with this entry, okay? So you can change it to something more customized like my website email form, whatever. So you know when someone emailed you. Anyways, to embed the form is easy. You click on embed. Now we select the existing page, create a new page. You can also embed the form manually or use a shortcode. And so I want to use a shortcode. And so we're going to highlight this code right there. Okay, we'll back out of this. We'll back out of this. Actually, nope, we have to save. Make sure to save the form. There we go. All right, so now we come over to pages. And we want to come over to our contact page that we just created. Click on edit. All right, now, there we go. Now make sure to click with edit with Elementor. Okay. And let it load. Okay, so this looks good. So let me just go ahead and click the gear icon. Let me go ahead and hide the page title. There we go. All right, so first thing I want to add in a couple different forms. So I'll just click on Elementor's library and let me go to blocks. And I really like this block. I don't know why I like it, but I like this block a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this block. Okay, so I can just take care of this and we'll just, there we go. All right, let me call this need to get in touch, question mark. So obviously this is the page title. So this should not be H4, that should be H1. Okay, then again, you can just adjust this text as needed. Okay, so like, yeah, hey, thanks for your interest in the website. I reply to emails in 24 to 48 hours, blah, 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 etc. And so we don't need this read more link anymore. We can get rid of that. Okay, and so now what do we need? We just need to add in another block to enable our shortcode. So what you just need to do is click the little square icon again, and then you want to look for something that says shortcode. Okay, there we go, shortcode. So let's take this, drag and drop it right there. All right, click on paste. And there we go. And our form has appeared. And now this looks fantastic. And so again, if you want to hide this email opt-in form on the contact page, you can do that. You just need to go into the above the footer section that you edited this and just make it a rule so that this is hidden on the contact page. But if it's not a big deal to you, you can just leave it like this. And there you go. You just created a nice looking contact page quickly and easily. Let's go ahead and click on update. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go here. Let's exit to our dashboard. Now we want to edit to our menu at the top, or you could put it in the footer. It's totally up to you. So again, I just showed you how to edit things in the footer, but if we want to add something to the menu, again, you have to go to appearance, go to menus, and then you can add in like contact, add new. All right, so we can adjust this like that. Boom. Click on save menu. All right, so let's open up our website one more time. Okay, and so we've successfully added contact to our menu up top there. Now within this menu section, see how I can have it like that? What that does is it creates a drop down. So if you're just curious, like how do I create a drop down? You can create a drop down by doing this. So underneath home, it'll be a drop down link for contact and blog. In general, I shy away from drop downs whenever possible. So, you know, it's up to you, but that's how you would do it. And that's it. And so that's how you add new things to your menu item. How to add Google Analytics to your Elementor powered website. So I'm assuming that you've already created a Google Analytics account if you haven't already done so. You have to go to Google Analytics, okay? It's called Google Analytics. Create account. It's pretty self-explanatory, but you want to get to this page, something like this, depending on when you watch this video, where you need to get the tracking code, okay? And so you want to come down here and you want to get the script, okay? And take this, copy. Now we need to put this script into the header of our website. And so to do that, I definitely recommend installing another plugin. So let's go to plugins. And let's go to add new. Okay, so now we want to install headers and footers. All right, so insert headers and footers. Here we go. This is the one we want. So go ahead and click install. And click on activate. All right, so now we're good to go. So just navigate to settings and then click on insert headers and footers. Now I really love this plugin because it's just plain so simple. So scripts in the header. Okay, so Google Analytics goes in your header. So that's what all you need to do. Done. That's it. And go ahead and click save. And you've just successfully added Google Analytics. Now, once you've added Google Analytics, you're going to be able to verify your website with Google Search Console. So just navigate to Google Search Console and log in to Search Console using the same email that you have your analytics account with. and that's it. And so it should verify your website. And Google Search Console is really powerful because it gives you a lot of specific information about how your website's ranking and index within Google, etc. So anyways, that's how you add analytics to your website. How to add social share buttons to your website. So one service that I personally like is called Addons. So you have to just go to Addons and log in. Okay, you're gonna have to create an account, do what you need to do. Now, once you're in, all you have to do is navigate to where it says tools. Now we want to go ahead and click on add a new tool, and we can want to add share buttons. So do that. And now here is where you can adjust what social share buttons are up here. So you can have inline or you can have floating. We're going to do floating. So let's go ahead and continue. And I want to select the button. So maybe I want to have Pinterest, move it up there. So we have Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Let's get rid of add this. And let's get rid of email and just keep these three. That looks good. Let's go ahead and, let's continue adjusting. So the mobile button's large. I want them to be small. Okay, so that means like when someone's on a mobile device, the buttons appear at the bottom of the website. You can just turn this off completely if you want. So we come down here to let's go here, 3 colors. All right, so there you go. On mobile, at the bottom, or hide, okay, if you don't want them at all. And so we'll just leave it like that. 3K, this shows how many social shares for each item. And so share count, I'll probably leave it as like 10. And so don't show a number unless it's 10 or greater, or you could change it to whatever you want. If you want it to be like 50, whatever. So anyways, once you're done, go ahead and activate tool. Click on activate tool. There we go. So that is it. Okay, so let's go ahead and, let's go back there. Okay, let's go to settings. All right, now we need to get the code. There we go. Okay, go down here, and all you need to do is highlight this script, copy. Now we want to go back to our headers and footers. So we just did this for Google Analytics. So now we want to put this in the footer of our website. So go ahead and do that and click on save. All right, so let's go back to our website. We'll reload the page. And there we go. So we've just successfully added social share buttons to our website. And lastly, just make sure that your website looks good on mobile. And so, for example, let's come over here to websitecreatorpro.com. If I go to right click, I go to inspect. Now this is set to look like a phone, okay? And so you just want to go through and make sure that everything is in place, it looks good, nothing's weird. And so with Elementor, you can do that as well. So what you need to do is go down here, right? And go to responsive mode. Now here you can select tablet or mobile. In general, you don't worry too much about tablet, but definitely like 50% of your traffic is going to be on mobile. And that's it. And so you want to just take a quick look. Now, whenever you edit anything now, it's going to only be affected by mobile, if that makes sense, okay? Because now we have mobile turned on. So for example, if I come down here and we'll say like courses at work, I'm like, oh, actually that's a little bit too big, and I want to come over here and I want to come to style perhaps and go to typography and maybe make that size a little bit bigger, whatever, like that. Maybe I want it like that, okay? This will only be applied to the mobile version of your website. And so it won't be applied to the desktop. So if you go back and go to desktop, it won't change it. So you're only changing things on mobile. And so that's why you just want to go through and just make sure everything looks good, everything's in place, nothing's weird, nothing's out of place, and that's it. Blogging with the free version of Elementor is really bad. I'm just going to be honest with you because you're my audience. I'm not going to not going to sugarcoat it. So this is kind of like the thing that Elementor puts behind the paywall to get you to upgrade to Elementor Pro. Okay, so if you look at like websitecreatorpro.com/blog, you can see like a nice, beautiful grid layout, very nice. You don't have that control with the free version of Elementor. That's why I said in the introduction that this tutorial is perfect if you're cool with like designing like a bunch of different pages individually. Say like you're a creative person, you're just creating like an online portfolio, or like you're a small business and you're happy to design like 20-30 pages individually, one by one. Perfect. Now, if you want to blog, you are going to have to pay for Elementor Pro because you really do need that kind of control over the design and layout of your blog as well as your individual blog posts. So this is a limitation, but in this section, I'll give you some ideas of some like workarounds you could potentially do, but in general, the whole blogging experience is really poor with the Elementor free version. So again, like I strongly emphasize that you upgrade to Elementor Pro if blogging is important to you, but if it's not, don't worry about this. So anyways, let's continue. All right, so the blog page on your website, this is the one thing that they put behind the paywall. So that's why I said in the very beginning of the tutorial that this tutorial is ideal if you want to use the free version of Elementor and you're cool with just individually editing each page. For example, like the contact page, home page, about page, and just adding elements and blocks into the page and doing whatever you want, then Elementor is fantastic. But for blogging, it's good for blogging, but not the free version because they put this behind the paywall. So you can't adjust this. This is the way it looks. You're stuck with this. Don't try it. Like, there's nothing you can do. Even if you come in here and you click on edit with Elementor, you're going to get an error. So here we go. Sorry, the content was not found. So we click on learn more. And so some people I've worked with, they're like, oh no, is my site broke? Or no, you're just using the free version. So right here, are you trying to edit the blog archive page or the home page that shows the latest posts? These are archive pages and they can only be edited with the Pro's theme builder function. And so that means you have to have Elementor Pro, which is, you have to pay for it. And so that's why. So you're kind of again, that's why I said you're stuck. And then the individual blog posts look like this, and they're not the worst, okay? Looks okay. I mean, you can get by, but again, it's not, if you really want to blog, if that's really important to you, then upgrade to Elementor Pro. But again, like I said in the very beginning, if you're cool with just like individually designing each page and you want to get very creative, you have the ability now, because I just showed you how to edit a header, how to edit an email opt-in form, edit the footer, and then you have free reign over the content area of your website. And so anyways, that is it for this tutorial. Alright, that's it for this tutorial video on how to create a website with Elementor. So, my goal with this was just to create a very helpful, quick and to the point guide and to give you some design ideas for your header, footer, and body. Because I know personally, like when I was using Elementor for the first time and the specific themes that are said to work well with it, like Astra, Ocean WP, Hello, I was confused. I personally was confused, and I'm a web designer, and I was like, how do I edit the header? How do I edit the footer? How do I this is like, there is a learning curve. So I hope this video really helps you and gives you just ideas on how to structure and lay out your website. Anyways, my name is David, websitecreatorpro.com. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.